This piece of junk is worth $400 million, and the guy who threw it away knows exactly where it is. He just can't get to it. It's sitting somewhere under 350,000 tons of rotting garbage in a small city in Wales. And that hard drive isn't even the most valuable thing humanity has lost. Not even close. Right now, 3.7 million Bitcoin are gone. Not sold, not hacked, not seized by the government. Lost, vanished, impossible to ever recover. That's $140 billion just gone. And by the time this video is over, you'll understand exactly how that happened, why it's actually making your Bitcoin more valuable, and the embarrassingly simple thing that could have prevented every single one of these losses. A piece of steel. But first, let's talk about how you lose $140 billion. The core issue comes down to something most people don't understand about Bitcoin until it's too late. There is no customer service, no hotline, no forgot password button, no guy named Steve in accounting who can reset your credentials. You are your own bank. And being your own bank means you are also your own security guard, your own vault, and your own worst enemy. When you create a crypto wallet, you get a seed phrase, 12 words, sometimes 24. These aren't a password you can reset. They are the money. Whoever has those words has the Bitcoin. Whoever loses those words loses everything. And here's where the tragedy begins. In the early days of Bitcoin, when coins were worth pennies, people treated seed phrases like grocery lists. They wrote them on sticky notes, on napkins. In the Notes app of phones, they would eventually upgrade and throw away. Paper rots, paper burns, paper gets thrown out by a helpful roommate who thought it was trash. And every time paper disappears, a fortune disappears with it. Then there are the hard drive people, the ones who stored their seed phrases in text files on computers that eventually crashed, got wiped, or ended up in a closet forgotten, or in James Howell's case, in a garbage bag headed for the dump. Let's go back to James for a second, because his story really does capture this entire nightmare. In 2009, he was mining Bitcoin when it was basically a fun computer science experiment. He accumulated 7,500 coins. Then life moved on. He got busy. The laptop he was using started acting up, so he did what anyone would do. He cleaned out his office, put the old hard drive in a garbage bag with some other electronics, and took it to the local landfill. At the time, those 7,500 Bitcoin were worth essentially nothing. Then Bitcoin happened. Prices went vertical. And that hard drive went from worthless junk to one of the most valuable objects on planet Earth. James has been fighting for over a decade to get permission to search the landfill. The city council keeps saying no, too expensive, too dangerous, too disruptive. Meanwhile, the drive sits there, corroding a little more every single day. Even if they find it, there's no guarantee the data is still readable. $400 million. Gone because of a spring cleaning, but James isn't alone. Not even close. Meet Stefan Thomas, German programmer, early Bitcoin adopter. He has 7,002 Bitcoin locked in an IronKey flash drive. The password is in his head. Or rather, it was in his head. He forgot it. The IronKey allows 8 password guesses before it permanently encrypts everything forever. He's used 6. He has 2 guesses left to recover over $200 million. 2 guesses. Imagine that pressure. Imagine trying to fall asleep knowing that a wrong keystroke could vaporize a fortune. Stefan has said in interviews that the experience nearly broke him. He had to lock the drive away and force himself to stop thinking about it just to maintain his sanity. The money is there. He knows exactly where it is, and he can't touch it. These are the famous stories. But the real graveyard is full of ordinary people. People who bought Bitcoin in 2013 and forgot about it. People who stored their seed phrase in an email draft and then got locked out of that email. People who died without telling anyone they owned crypto, taking their seed phrases to the grave. That last one is the silent epidemic nobody talks about. Someone buys Bitcoin early, holds through every crash, watches their tiny investment grow into life-changing money. Then something unexpected happens. An accident, an illness, old age, and their family? They have no idea. They find a weird USB drive and throw it away. They donate a laptop without checking what's on it. They clean out a desk drawer and never think twice about the piece of paper with 12 random words written on it. A fortune erased by grief and ignorance. Current estimates suggest that around 20% of all Bitcoin is permanently lost. That's roughly 3.7 million coins that will never move again, never be sold, never be traded. They're frozen in digital amber for the rest of human history. And here's the counterintuitive part. This tragedy is actually bullish for Bitcoin. Basic economics. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That cap is hard-coded into the protocol. It cannot be changed. But if 3.7 million are gone forever, the real available supply is closer to 17 million, maybe less because more coins are being lost every year. Shrinking supply, growing demand. Every lost Bitcoin makes every remaining Bitcoin slightly more scarce. The graveyard feeds the price. But that's cold comfort if your coins are the ones that end up lost. So let's talk about prevention, because this is the part that should matter to you directly. If you own any cryptocurrency at all, even a small amount, you have a seed phrase. Right now, where is it? Be honest with yourself. Is it on your phone? In a notes app? Written on a piece of paper in your desk drawer? In an email you sent to yourself? Every single one of those options is a disaster waiting to happen. Phones get stolen, desks get flooded, emails get hacked, houses catch fire, and paper is the worst offender of all. Which brings us to the solution I promised at the beginning of this video. Steel. Specifically, steel seed backup plates. This is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of writing your seed phrase on something that can burn, rot, or disintegrate, you stamp it into metal. Companies like CryptoSteel, Billfodl, and Blockplate make kits specifically for this. They range from about $50 to $150. That's it. $50 to protect a fortune. Here's why steel matters. These plates have been tested at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. A typical house fire burns at around 1,100 degrees. Your paper backup turns to ash in minutes. That steel plate, it sits in the rubble, completely intact, waiting for you to find it. Flood? No problem. Submersion for extended periods doesn't degrade stainless steel. Humidity, sunlight, mold, insects, your dog chewing on it, none of it matters. You could bury one of these in your backyard and dig it up 20 years later and every single letter would still be readable. But even steel isn't enough if you only have one copy in one location. The real move is redundancy. 2 or 3 steel backups stored in different physical locations, a home safe, a bank deposit box, a trusted family member's house. Sounds paranoid? Maybe. But paranoia is the entire point of self-custody. And please talk to your family. Write down clear instructions. Tell someone you trust exactly where your backups are and what they mean, because the cruelest loss isn't a fire or a flood. It's dying with millions that your family will never know existed. A fortune that could change your children's lives, just evaporating because no one knew to look for a piece of metal in a drawer. James Howells will probably spend the rest of his life wondering what if. Stephen Thomas will probably never sleep well again. And somewhere out there, someone is about to make the exact same mistake right now. A paper backup in a fragile location, one disaster away from joining the graveyard. Don't let that be you. Get a steel backup, stamp your words, store them somewhere safe. Tell someone. It takes 30 minutes and it might be the most important half hour of your financial life. The graveyard is full. There's no reason to add your name to it. If this was helpful, there's more on the channel.